The Run Lift Mom podcast is brought to you by my efforts as a ZYIA Active independent representative and partners Hello Woofy for social media, Red H Nutrition, and Audible. Audible is the newest of this lineup, and if you want to try Audible free, all you've got to do is visit audibletrial.com/runliftmom. Hey guys, Susie here, and I bet you're wondering what an episode is doing in your queue outside of a normal Tuesday release. This is a bonus episode of the Run Lift Mom podcast, and it is to celebrate 2 years with ZYIA Active. I became a ZYIA Active independent representative 2 years ago, and that is actually why the show you're listening to exists. I wanted a way to go deeper with my existing ZYIA customers, and that's why the Run Lift Mom podcast began. Whether you are said existing customer, or maybe a fellow brand representative, or just somebody who has stumbled onto the show, you don't know how you got here, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I want to thank you for supporting me on the journey, which includes ZYIA Active. And hey, for the second ZYIAversary, here's a bonus episode. You can learn a little bit more about me. Welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, where we're talking about running, lifting, and momming, not necessarily in that order. I've got a special treat today where we talk about all three, and it is actually me as a guest on Leggings and Liquor with my friends Ricky and Robbie. This is a streaming YouTube show, and I was so happy to talk to them about how I got into running, what it's like to have triplets, and all things podcast. So without further ado, here I am with my friends Ricky and Robbie from Leggings and Liquor.
Welcome, Susie!
Hi, ladies. Hi there. Thank you so much. I saw you guys in March, and it's really cool to be together, kind of untraditionally again.
Yes.
It is awesome.
Here.
Yay.
I know. We are so excited, Susie. Okay, so I just gave you this intro and told a little bit about you, but I want you to go ahead and tell us your background, about your family, finding out you're pregnant with triplets when your oldest is 1. Like that alone is like, whoa, mind blown.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So first of all, you guys know how to make a woman feel good. So thank you for that lovely introduction. Like you mentioned, I am a military spouse. My husband and I have been married for 12 years. And actually, you guys, for the first 6, now, we weren't trying to make babies. We were practicing. My mom doesn't see this. We didn't want to have kids like immediately. But after a couple of years, we were like, let's make some littles. And we had a really hard time. I could do a whole show with you guys on navigating infertility because that was a really, really hard road that we went down. But we were blessed to have my oldest son, and that was through IUI for those who have been down this road down there. And then he was about 1.5 years. My husband was deployed. Not even kidding. I'm working full time at the time, and I got pregnant via IUI with triplets. So 2 pregnancies, 4 kids in 2 years. And you know what's funny? People are always like, well, are you going to have more? We had 4 kids in less than 2 years. We're good.
Yes, I would say so. Oh my goodness.
No, I have 4. Robbie has 4. So we're all
we're all there.
That's a lot of kids if we get together.
Yeah. I mean, we went straight from we didn't even go man-to-man defense, right? We went straight into like working the zone from 1 to 4. People often ask me what my reaction was when the doctor was like, hey, you're having triplets. I'll tell you guys, they had to call mental health services in. And I'm not sure if that's something that they have to do for everybody, but there were a lot of tears, and it was overwhelming tears. Let me be very clear though, because I'm like laughing and joking about it. You guys, it's a blessing. It's exactly what we prayed for. We prayed for these babies, maybe not in the amount,
Right.
but it's a great example of just the Lord having more in store for you than you could ever imagine yourself.
And having that sense of humor. Like we always say, God has a sense of humor. I'm sure he was like, here you go.
Oh, you want to be a mama?
Yeah.
I got you.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah.
Now tell us, Susie, with all of that, I mean, be honest. And you've kind of done an Instagram post on this too. If y'all don't know, Susie is on Instagram at Run Lift Mom Pod. So go follow her as well. But do you get a day off? Like, truly, do you?
No, it was so interesting to me that you guys put this on the briefing. So I've just mentioned going through that infertility, and it's still very vivid. You guys, my oldest now is 6 and the triplets are 4, and it is still very vivid. I remember being curled up on the bathroom floor when my period came because I wasn't pregnant yet again. Those feelings are so vivid to me. I don't want a day off. Okay. It gets crazy.
Yeah.
I'm actually coming to you. You guys think this room, if I turn the camera around, you're going to see my son's like really messy room. They've put Star Wars stickers everywhere, all over the wall. I mean, y'all, it's nutty. It's chaos around here, but I don't want a day off because like, this is what I feel like, you know, God has called me to do, is to be their mom and be fully present right now. We're very, very blessed that my husband has a secure job right now. A lot of people are struggling with work because of what's going on in our world. My husband is serving in the military, so that gives us the nice stability and me the blessing of being able to be home. I don't get a day off. I don't necessarily want one. And let me also mention, though, too, that we are a multi-generation household. So as I'm talking to you guys right now, like uninterrupted, Mott, aka Grandma, is downstairs with the kids. And I don't think my mom lives a mile away. I don't think I would be doing this. I wouldn't be doing the podcast. I surely wouldn't be like, we all sell activewear together. I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing any of these extra things if I didn't have the help. So don't let me come off like I do it all myself. I don't. I have a lot of good help.
God bless our mamas, that's for sure.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
Well, we mentioned that you were a Guinness World Record holder.
Yeah.
How exciting. And you kind of like piqued my interest when you're like, go Google it. And I was like, oh, I will.
I know, I did too. Whenever you said that, I was like, oh my goodness.
So tell us more about it.
Hey, Run Lift Mom listeners, you know I'm the mom of 4 kids under age 5, and therefore I am always looking for ways to work smart, not hard. Anchor is the smartest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you why. First of all, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, but Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so then it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole lot more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It is quite literally everything you need all in one place. And y'all, it's free. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. There are very few times that I can talk about this. It's not what I usually lead with.
I would like
Hi, I'm Susie, and I have one of these triplets. No. This was, so our triplets were actually born early. They were born at 30 weeks. It was a road. They were growers and feeders for the most part, but for our family emotionally, I mentioned my husband was on deployment. So that reintegration with the family, you went from 1 kid to 4. They were in the hospital. When you have triplets, being a NICU mom, it's a little different. There's not like a good, I can count on one hand the number of days that all 3 of them had a good day. Like we counted that as a huge win if all 3 of them had a good day and they weren't like back on oxygen or ventilator or bradycardia or all you guys. That's another vivid, like the bells and the monitors. NICU moms out there know what I'm talking about. So anyway, when you go through that experience, you want to do something big for the homecoming. So we celebrate the NICU homecoming like as hard as we do the birthdays. It's a big deal.
I love it.
Yeah, and that first year was, I ran the Halloween half marathon here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and we did it alongside a fundraiser for the Cape Fear Valley Health Foundation, and that is our NICU here in Fayetteville, where the kids were the first 2 months of life. And so there's a lot of red tape to getting a Guinness World Record. But I went through it and I set that record. So I made a category for fastest half marathon while pushing a triple pram.
I love it.
Now, it's since been broken. It's since been broken many times by athletes way more talented than me. But I'll tell you what, I've helped a couple of them with their applications because abundance mindset. And isn't that cool to know other people that do this? But like the takeaway is, if you find a niche enough category, half marathon, pushing 3 kids, you too can be a world record holder.
I gotta find my category. I gotta find it.
Well, and speaking of categories, Susie, you do have, like I mentioned, the podcast. That's the Run Lift Mom, and it's like you can even tell your Alexa, "Hey, play the Run Lift Mom podcast," and they play it. It's awesome. But go ahead and let me know kind of what got you into that, like what motivated you to start a podcast. How did you feel like that was your platform?
Thank you for asking. So it's my passion project. And so I love talking about it. So once upon a time, I actually sold podcast advertising. This was back in 2014. So this is right when Serial came out, you guys. I sold for, it was called the New Mommy Media Group. You guys, it's the Boob Group is a really great podcast that still airs for breastfeeding mothers. But Sunny Galt, who is the owner of the Independent Podcasters Network, was my boss at the time. I was her ad girl. I was not the on-air person. I sold ads. So I knew about the industry. Then I had the triplets and I shelved that completely. And when I started ZYIA Active, selling activewear like you guys do, the podcast came about because if there are any ZYIA people watching right now, they're going to laugh. I didn't want to do a VIP group. I didn't want to come on.
What did she say?
I'm not kidding you. On Facebook, and for those that aren't in ZYIA circles, traditionally, just like you guys have, traditionally there's a private community group, and that's awesome and it's fun. I know you guys have a ton of fun in yours, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have time for it. Right. I do not have time for it. So my goal was to go deeper with my existing activewear customers in a way that would feel intimate, like a VIP group, but that wasn't a VIP group. And that's how the podcast was born. I started, quite literally, my first episode is Practice on My Business Coach. And then I just started asking big. I've been blessed with speaking with people, you guys, that I would have no business speaking with otherwise. And it's become a really neat passion project. I'm over 100 episodes in. It's multi-format at this point. Interviews, quick tips, master classes. I've got something really cool up my sleeve for season 3, which is coming up at the end of the summer. Yay! It's been so fun. And along the way, it's gone from a handful of listeners to, I think I'm around 50,000 downloads at this point.
Wow.
And it's just so fun. And it's a really neat way to go deep. And I've learned so much about being on the host side of things versus when I started just selling ads and talking about the value of that space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And I bet you have had some awesome guests on there. I know I've heard a few that have been so interesting, but you tell me, who's been your favorite so far? Do you have one that stands out?
I do. I have to tell you though, some of these people, you guys, I am just a normal girl, okay? When I started ZYIA Active, that Instagram account you're talking about, Run Lift Mom Pod, it started obviously with a different name. It started from 0, okay? I had my 5 minutes of fame doing the Guinness thing, but that's it. I'm a normal person. I have had the blessing to, speaking of ZYIA Active, I've spoken with Erin Bradley twice on that show. She was actually my 4th ever interview. It's season 1, episode 11. It was one of those that I was like, I'm going to have the you-know-whats to ask big. And she said yes. I know, right? Yes. I've had social media strategist Brenda Sturr You guys,
Oh my
she's
goodness.
awesome. I had her. Sue B. Zimmerman is another, like, for business types. I've had
Yeah.
Wendy Powell of Mutu System for new moms. You guys, those that are in the street parking or CrossFit community. I've had Miranda Alcaraz on the street parking postpartum. Carolina Stone was just on this last week. She was huge. I mean, Steph Godrow of the Core Four. She's an author. Like, it's bonkers. But let me tell you who my favorite episode is.
Tell us.
My husband.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
Run Lift Mom. And I've had a handful of men on there when appropriate. And my husband and I we had a very intimate public conversation about the triplets and that NICU journey and what it felt like for him as a deployed service member to have a high-risk pregnant wife at home and to be American Red Cross emergency'd home and see your family quadruple, right? Or your kids quadruple. It was really great in that, one, it gave me a deeper understanding of what he was feeling. And then I've had other people, listeners, people have approached me, like people I don't know in the park. And they're like, thank you. It gave me an understanding for what my deployed husband is feeling like. I've never been pregnant with triplets, but it provided a lot of insight. And men aren't traditionally great at like opening up and talking about their feelings. We're streaming on Facebook right now, you guys. He hasn't been on Facebook in 5 years. My man doesn't have an Instagram account. So like he's the guy that doesn't have social media. So you can imagine how hard it was for him to open up. But y'all, he like knocked it out of the park, and it's my favorite episode.
I'm gonna have to go listen to it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really am. I am.
I think I do now. Well, speaking of favorites, what is your favorite run? Because we know you run marathon. And like we said before, you've run, like, what'd you say, 47 out of 50 states now?
Yeah, I'm 47 out of 50 states. Lifetime marathons, it's over 50. I've done a lot.
What states are you
which
missing?
one is your favorite run to date?
So I'm missing a lot of West Coast. You can definitely, I'm a military spouse and we've moved a lot. You can tell where I've lived by looking at the map. And so I'm missing a lot of stuff in the southwestern area of the country, just down like the West Coast states. My favorite run was actually in Wyoming. It's called, it was in Green River, Wyoming. It's called Run with the Horses. You guys, this is a small race, okay? I bet there were 100 participants. There was no starting gun or big, like, inflatable starting line. It quite literally was the race director being like, this is what you do if a snake bites you. Right? Because we were, like, running up into the canyons. But you run into the canyons where, like, cars can't travel, and there are wild, as the name would suggest, Run with the Horses, there are wild horses out. Now, you either see them or you don't. Like, some years they're not out. The year I ran, from mile, like, 21 to 24, you guys, you could, like, throw a rock at these herds of beautiful horses running with us.
Awesome.
It wasn't my best time. It wasn't my best place. I don't even know what my time, like, who cares?
Yeah,
it was,
you're running with wild horses.
It was an amazing experience. And I actually ran that one for my 30th birthday. It was my last race as a 29-year-old. And that was Saturday. And then I drove to South Dakota and ran there as a 30-year-old on a Sunday. So just a really memorable time.
Yes. Gosh,
that's awesome. Yeah. I know.
And here I'm sitting there thinking, I just want to run the Disney. Like, that would be so fun.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, man, I would love to do the Disney. And then I was like, well, maybe I just need to cheer them on.
Maybe I need to go to the horses.
Have you always been a runner, Susie? Like, even in middle school, like high school, or did you just start as you got older?
You know, I ran in middle school and high school, and I give a lot of credit to my middle school track coach. She was like, you're going to be good at cross country. She told me this when I was in like 7th grade, when cross country wasn't a thing. And that stayed with me. And she was someone who, even when I wasn't performing well, she always lined me up first, both literally and figuratively. She's still a dear friend. She came to my son's baby shower. She's very present in our lives. She was a great influence on us. But she said, you're going to be good at long distances. You guys, she said this to a 12-year-old.
Wow.
So never
Wow.
discount what that encouragement
Wow.
and uplifting someone can do. Anyway, I did not run at all in college. My husband worked in our recreation center. He was an exercise sports science major. We went to the same college. I never saw him once because he worked gym check-in, and I never went to that rec center, not even once. I was full on
That's
sorority
funny.
life.
Right.
Like, you heard? This is just, but I mean, y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're with you. We got you.
Right. But then in my 20s, I got a sales job selling yellow pages. And I was in an area of the country that I didn't have any friends. I was in like Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio. Like, I love this area. I didn't know anybody. And so I decided I'll train for a marathon. I'll be able to like do group runs and meet people in the area. And I caught the bug.
That's awesome. Wow.
That bug is true. It's a real thing.
I wish you could pass it off to me because I need to get back into the bug. I'm trying. I was like, oh.
Couch to 5K is a good start, Robbie. That is a good program. I will tell you, I do some run coaching on the side, and I love that program because I think what you'll find is it's just the right amount of challenge without like putting you in overuse injury territory. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And to where then you just hate it. Like, you know, if you get to it, you're just like, oh my goodness.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And Susie, this is kind of a fun question for you, but I'm definitely curious. So if there was a movie about your life, what would it be titled and who would you want to play you?
Okay. So the title and then the actress, it's nothing in common.
Okay.
The title would be Don't Make a 5-Year Plan. Because more relevant, like 1 second we're like dual income, no kids. I'm like thinking about my career. Like, our biggest stressor is what are we going to do with the dog when we want to travel on the weekend? And now I've got 4 children under age 6. So don't make a 5-year plan. And then the actress. Okay, I want characters from actresses. I want Shirley MacLaine as Weezer from Steel Magnolia.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Combined with a little bit of Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. I don't want Reese, okay, and Shirley. I want Weezer and Elle. That's
hilarious. That's perfect.
That is perfect. Perfect. Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's great.
Yeah. No one ever thinks about Weezer. Weezer was the best.
Yes. Hands down, the best character, for sure.
Yeah, but I like that one part where it's like Whack-A-Weezer or something, Whack-A-Weeze. Oh, it's so funny. I love it.
Be Still My Heart.
That's still such a good movie.
Yeah. So.
Well, as we start to come to an end, we got a popular little part of our show that is called the Mama Madness. And it is our rapid fire questions that we kind of go over, and you just kind of tell us what pops in your head. Ricky is going to shout those out
I
for
got
you.
you on those. Okay, so when you dance, you look like
Elaine from Seinfeld.
How do you come up with these things so quick? What's your favorite state that you've
My favorite. We lived in Alaska for a couple of years, and as a runner and someone who loves the outdoors, there was nothing like going out for your long run at 8 p.m. and still being able to do berry picking or hang out outside afterwards. So Alaska.
That's awesome. Okay, so now I got to go visit. All right, how many books have you read so far this year?
Are we talking about Audible books, or are we talking about like paper books, and can they be children's books?
Audibles count now.
Okay. I actually go through about 2 Audibles a month, says my credit history. So it's June, probably about 12, but multiple children's books. My son is in a Spanish immersion program here in Fayetteville. And so we've been doing a lot of Spanish books from Usborne Books and More, and holla to the Usborne gals out there. They can make some good recommendations.
Yeah.
All right, your favorite movie?
Steel Magnolias is definitely up there. I'm gonna have to go with Steel Magnolias. Fun fact: I was a Phi Mu at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and that movie, the character Shelby, is based on a real life Phi Mu, and there are composite pictures. And You'll have to look for that too.
I did not know
I've always
that.
loved
We
that
both
one.
have 5 new daughters too.
Yeah,
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, our oldest are both 5 years.
We were destined to be friends, y'all.
I know you were. It's crazy. Crazy.
One's in Mississippi and one's in Tennessee, and they don't even know each other.
Stop. That is too cool.
I know,
Too
isn't
cool.
that awesome?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, and your favorite mom moment?
Favorite mom moment. Oh, yikes. You know what? I don't know if this is a favorite, but it was a memorable mom moment. During that half marathon where we set the Guinness World Record, my son, Gabe, had a blowout. You guys, a blowout. He was a little over 1 at this point, and I mean, bad. And so during the race, I actually had to stop and change said diaper, which I was prepared to do. But other runners who knew what I was like, they were like, "Oh, can I give you some help?" And in the rules, like nobody can help you do anything. I don't know if that extends to diaper changes or not. And thinks I would have been just fine. But like I wouldn't even let somebody carry the dirty diaper to the track. I'm like, don't touch my area. So changing Gabe's diaper mid setting a world record.
I bet that was the fastest diaper you've ever changed.
Actually, yes, very quick. He also kept me from a sub 2 hour pushing that big honky stroller
I know,
too.
right?
There
But
you go. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I saw it was like 2 hours and 1 minute and something, and I was like,
Yes.
damn diaper.
So, like, for example, Robbie, when you go to do your 5K, right? If you have to go to the bathroom during that 5K, you're going to look at your time and you're going to be like, oh, it should have been a minute less. I went to the bathroom. I do the same thing looking at our time for that. Like, diaper change.
Crap. That's awesome. That is great.
Well, Susie, it's been so fun having you
I
on.
know.
You guys-
awesome.
It is the community of what we do on the activewear side is one of my favorite parts of this. This is a really, really good example of it. I want to make mention, I'm not on your team, you're not on my team. We're doing this because it's community and it's fun and we enjoy one another's company.
Yes, and that's even like this whole show. That's
right.
kind of what we do. We love our community of busy mamas, all putting it together and making it work.
Yes.
And getting it in. And we definitely appreciate you joining in. And y'all all be sure to go check out Susie's podcast and look for her husband on there as well. It is Run Lift Mom. And then and you can see it down at the bottom as well. You can follow her at Run Lift Mom Pod on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media channels as well. So definitely check. And she is known to be on TikTok also.
Oh, she's pretty good at it.
I know you've got some fun TikTok, so definitely check that out. Well, Susie, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Ricky and Robbie, for having me on Leggings and Liquor. You guys, I love sharing my personal journey, which has led me to Run Lift Mom podcast and recording this show. You've got to check out Leggings and Liquor. It is a streaming show. You can find it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You guys, they've had guests like me. They've had mother-daughter business teams that make jewelry. They've had macro coaches that help women lose weight and eat real food. It is awesome, and they've got big, big things planned for the show. I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't wait to collaborate again. Until I get into your earpiece again, remember, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. That's from 1 Timothy 4:8, and this has been the Run Lift Mom podcast. Thank you for listening to the Run Lift Mom podcast. This began as a passion project in February 2019, and now, you guys, it is legit my favorite thing to do each week. Record with the guests that come on Run Lift Mom and then share their knowledge and expertise with you. I love this. I have done a lot of things right with this show. The thing that I've done wrong, I haven't asked you to rate, review, and subscribe enough. You guys, this is how other people find the show. So please do me a solid, rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you for being a listener of Run Lift Mom.
Hey, Run Lift Mom listeners, if you are here for business or entrepreneur type topics, I want to let you know I have a new show. It's called Serve Then Sell, and it's available on 10 different channels, including Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. The idea here is not to just lump in the business topics with running, lifting, and momming. I want to create more of a separation. I hope you will come hang out with me over there. Again, the name of the show is called Serve Then Sell. Enter that into any search box and you're going to see it come right up. We'll be running, lifting, and momming over here. I hope you'll still hang out. Check in over there if it will be a blessing for you.